Hey guys, Crux, so welcome to my callouts video for Cache. This is a very popular map and I figured it'd be fitting to go second up. Before we start, I did want to let you guys know that these are all subjective and I know some of you guys in different regions have different callouts. These are the ones that are familiar with from NA. Let's get right on into it. First up, we have T-Spawn, which in this map you can kind of generalize because you're not going to get much action here and you don't really have to have specific callouts for different areas of it, as you're really never going to see people. With that being said, this is one of those exceptions. There is truck. People will often be saving here, especially as T's after the bomb has been dropped and they can't get to it. Here is mid garage, as well as spools, which you can boost up to red. And when people call out on top of red, that just means they boost it up on top of it, obviously. This whole area is mid garage up until you exit here. And up here is vents, which is a very simple call out. You don't have to call it, vent ramp or anything like that. They're going to know what you're talking about contextually when you're in mid. Over here is under boost or anti boost, which is where you can boost your teammates over boost. And the other corner, you can call this pipe or cubby, which is more familiar for a lot of people. And that's going to be a better call out overall. Right here, of course, is boost. When someone asks you to boost them, this is what they're talking about on this map. And up top, you can just call boost from mid and they're going to know what you're talking about. This is white box, a very common angle for CTs to play. You can call it white box spool, but that's kind of a little bit too specific. It's not really needed. As well as sandbags, it's one of the other locations they're often going to be playing mid at, baiting like bitches and hiding for the frag. As well as Z. This whole area can be called Z. You don't really have to call it anything else. Some people on the other side will call it Z exit, which is fine, but you really don't have to be too specific in this area. And it's called Z if you didn't know because of the walkways. They're in a shape of a Z. This area is called long A. You can call this Squeaky lobby, or I still call it long A in this section because it's the longest path to get to A. This area is called Squeaky. As soon as you go through that broken wall up to the door, that squeaky door, this you can call A stairs or A ramp, or you really can just call this all A main, as you're never having to be too specific. Except for, of course, when you hop up over here, these are lockers. A lot of people will be playing here for rotates after post plant and stuff like that. This is anti-flash against this wall. This is where people are going to be playing, trying to hide from those flashes as they're pushing up so that they don't get blinded, and they can challenge if their teammates do get blinded. This you can call A boost or shroud, although technically shroud is the position up top here. This is default, which is the default plant location, as well as back here being quad. If you ever hear quad, this is what it's talking about. They can say right or left side. This is E-box, not a very common spot, but it is a good off angle to try. Sometimes you just don't have good cover. This is toxic, which is very important. Only call this when they're actually up against the barrels versus ladder in the back. That can help with some confusion, as well as the fact that this is cat up here. This whole section you can call cat, and I would try to classify only when they're close like this so that people know. If you just call normal cat, they're probably back by the corner near the ladder. Under that, of course, is fork. Don't ever call it under cat. That's fucking stupid. And this is truck. That should wrap it up for A for the most part. Here we have CT. Again, you don't really have to be specific here, as you're only going to be calling it out when they are saving. Only on this side should you call outside Z. You can say one's hiding left side tree or right side tree. This whole area is called tree room because there's that big ass tree there. And you really don't have to call out anything specific as they're entering B, as this is still considered tree. This is heaven ramp up to heaven. And once you pass the plywood here, I would start calling it rafters or scaffolding. That way people will have a more specific idea of where the enemy is. And once you drop under, you can say under scaffolding as well, or under heaven even. People have started calling this simple, but I don't really believe I'm going to start adopting that. This is headshot, as well as a little bit back is generator as you're standing on it. This is the default plant's position for B, so you can call this default, or some people call it target, as well as back sight or back corner. This I just call close left on B site. They're going to know what you're talking about, as well as pit. It's because it goes down into this little, I don't even know what the fuck that is. This is back checkers, and this whole area is called checkers because of the floor tiling, as well as under vent here. This whole area can be considered B main. You don't really have to be specific here either, as it's a very obvious call out. This whole area is considered sunroom, and that's because of the painting there on the wall. It's where people will be lining up a lot of their smokes and flashes. You can call this B main exit, and this is useless, which a lot of people don't realize what it's called, but there you go. So hopefully that cleared up a lot of different call out areas for you guys to start using. It'll improve your teamwork quite a bit. Let me know what map you'd like next. Thanks for watching.